Hey everybody, how's everyone doing today? I'm gonna wait a little bit. Oh, you see? It says I'm a finisher. This is Spartan race. I'm not in my normal space because I'm actually watching my son. So he's actually eating right now. Oh my god, I just said I have a son, right? How things change in life. So we're actually finishing up the first part of Atomic Habits. We're gonna finish it up, make it obvious, right? So how to really set a habit and making it obvious. And I realized that I ran past one of the most important chapters in making it obvious. So it's pretty cool that that's how we're gonna end off making it obvious with one of the things I feel is the most important. So we're going to start off with the chapter I thought we were on, and then I'm going to revert back to the topics. Okay, so I'll wait to see if anybody joins in. And some people have. Okay. It's funny how you learn how to be innovative. All right, it's pretty cool. So, chapter 7, right? Chapter 7 is the secret to self-control. And again, the reason I go through this, just because I want to stay in touch with you, I feel this book has impacted me a lot. And this is a way to deal with your troubles through these times. And that's what you want to learn how to do, is deal with what's going on in life in an appropriate manner, because leaders either rise or they go back to their comfort zone during stressful times. So either you're going to rise and move forward in life, or you're going to go back to your stressful state. So, the secret of self-control. Instead, disciplined people are better at structuring their lives in a way that does not require heroic willpower and self-control. Willpower and self-control is finite, right? You don't have unlimited amounts of it. So you really want to set up your environment for that. In other words, they spend less time in tempting situations. For me personally, when I want to stop smoking, I had to stop hanging out with people that smoke. When I want to stop wasting money, I had to stop hanging out with friends and spending money casually. And right, I wanted to stack my money, right? So just avoiding tempting situations. I removed the apps from the home screen of my phone so I don't get tempted to even do that. Because that's a simple thing that you could get tempted to do. Netflix, Prime, all those things where you could watch movies, we actually just decided that we're not going to do it. So that temptation is automatically gone because we agreed to hit a certain goal before we get onto it. So sometimes the thing could still be right there in front of you, but once you decide, you could just stop. But avoiding temptation and not having it around you is even better. Right, so I think that's the best way. The people with the best self-control are typically the ones who need to use it the least, right? Because of the environment they set up for themselves. So yes, perseverance, grit, willpower are essential to success, but the way to improve these qualities is not by wishing you were more disciplined, but by creating a more disciplined environment. So environment is key. And everything around us is based off of our work ethic and what to do and how to improve ourselves. And it's taken us 4 or 5 years to even create an environment where we could even start focusing more and more on our businesses. So it takes time to change your life. Don't think it's going to happen overnight. But the more serious and committed you are and the more you're willing to change, the quicker it'll happen. Right, and then the next part is shaming. A lot of people, they shame. Obese people with weight loss presentations can make them feel stressed, and as a result, many people return to their favorite coping strategy, overeating. Right? And that comes back to knowing that it takes time, don't stress yourself, and create an environment where you can change. Right? Bad habits are autocatalytic. They process feeds itself. They foster the feelings they try to numb. You feel bad, so you eat junk food. Because you eat junk food, you feel bad. Watching television makes you feel sluggish, so you watch more television because you don't have the energy to do anything else. So we fall into these autolytic, that's what they call it, autocatalytic processes where we get stuck in this numbing cycle or this avoidance, right? They say the next one is worrying about your health makes you feel anxious, which causes you to smoke to ease your anxiety, which makes your health even worse, and soon you'll be feeling more anxious. It's a downward spiral, a runaway train of bad habits. Self-control is a short-term strategy, not a long-term one. You may be able to resist temptation once or twice, but it's unlikely you can muster up the willpower to override your desires every time. Right? So, I'm happy that this is kind of the end of the chapter. We're going to revert back to some principles and some tips on how to actually do these things. But setting up yourself is the most crucial thing, right? I can't emphasize that enough. Like, if you're wasting too much time watching television, move the TV out of your bedroom. Some people, so first they'll take the batteries out of the remotes, right? So then they have to put in the batteries. So now they're becoming more conscious of it. Then that's still not working, so they'll turn the TV around and unplug it. Then that still becomes easy for them, and a habit just to turn it around and plug it in. Then they put the TV in the closet. And then another layer on top of that is you have to say what show you're gonna watch, so you're not just watching TV mindlessly. All right, so I think those are pretty cool strategies. But I'm gonna revert back to the last thing we're gonna cover for Make It Obvious. I don't know what happened there. So I guess I'll post this video up on my Instagram as well, because the Instagram disconnected. So I'll post that up as well. I don't know why. I hope the live is still running. Okay, it's back up on Instagram. It says I started a live on my phone. So I hope the live is still running. And if not, if it's on Facebook, I'll put it back on Instagram so you have it on both platforms. So the best way to start a new habit, first you have to become intentional and you have to implement the habits you want. So which is a plan you make beforehand to how you're going to act. So when situation X arises, I will perform response Y. I will do this behavior at this time and location. So they're giving you examples of how to write it out so you could incorporate a behavior. If you want a certain behavior, you got to write it down and when. So, for example, the example in the book was this guy who was doing push-ups. He wanted to do push-ups on his lunch break. He said, on my lunch break, I'll do 10 push-ups. But then for a week or so, he didn't do it because he didn't decide when he was going to do it. Is it going to be soon as he closes the computer, before he eats, after he eats, what? So he made a decision, soon as I close my computer, my laptop, I'll get down and do 10 push-ups. Right? So you want to be very specific on how you set your goals and how you're going to go about it. Meditation. I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my kitchen. So the behavior is meditate, the time, and the location. So behavior, time, and location is what he used to create a formula of implementing the things he wanted. I could read and keep going on, but the one thing I'll say is the Dittro Effect. Diderot effect is kind of what I was talking about at the end of the chapter, is that we fall into these habits, and once we fall into it, it's a trickle-down effect. So many human behaviors follow the cycle. You often decide what to do next based on what you have just finished doing. Going to the bathroom leads to washing your hands, drying your hands, right? Some people, they say, I like this one, you can spot a pattern everywhere. So you buy a dress and have to get new shoes and earrings to match. You buy a couch and suddenly question the layout of the entire living room. So one thing could affect so many things. Right now, just be mindful of that. All right. There's a trickle down effect to whatever you do. And this, to me, I'm going to leave you with this habit stacking, which I feel is something that could really help you drastically change your life if we learn how to master this. And this is for myself included. I want to learn how to master this. If I learn how to master this, I could do tremendous things. So after I do a current habit, I will perform a new habit, right? So whatever the new habit is. So remember we did the habit scorecard? And we're pointing and calling, so we're becoming aware of habits we don't want. So once we become aware of habits we already have that are good, now we could add on good habits to it. So after I brush my teeth, I will go put on my sneakers and go for a run. Right? Or as soon as I wake up, I will smile and go practice gratitude or something of that nature, right? And they call it cue, craving, response, reward. That's how you create a habit. And now what you're doing is you're creating a cycle between it. And you're going to keep going. Oh. Hey, Young. Nice joining. Thank you for joining. So the key is to tie your desired behavior into something you already do each day. Creating large stacks by chaining small habits together. So you could add on habits, and they call it habit stacking. Right? So if you have good habits and you want to implement more good habits, just say right after you do that, you'll add on that new habit. So after I brush my teeth, so that's a current habit, brushing my teeth, I will go running. That's a new habit, right? So the examples they have, after I pour my morning cup of coffee, I will meditate for 60 seconds. Then the second one is, after I meditate for 60 seconds, I will write my to-do list for the day. And then number 3 is, after I write my to-do list for the day, I will immediately begin my first task. And that's an example of habit stacking. Right? Consider habit stacking in the evening as well. After I finish eating dinner, I'll put my plate directly into the dishwasher. After I put my dishes away, I will immediately wipe them down. And things of this nature. So brainstorm your current habits, and then brainstorm the habits that you do daily and the ones you want to implement. And then you could learn how to create that habit stacking. Habit stacking is phenomenal. I've done it with quite a few things, like my morning and night routines. So in the mornings, I make sure I go pray and certain stuff of that nature, listen to audio, meditate. Meditation, I'm still working on where I'm going to fill that in, right? So you got to figure out how to habit stack properly as well. It's not going to be perfect all the time. So that's where I'm going to end it off with. Figure out your environment. You're not going to have ultimate willpower. Create systems and habit stacks and whatever you need to actually get what you want out of life. You only have one life. So let's live it to the fullest. And I love you all and thank you for joining.